Well, good evening, and on behalf of IMCA Executive Secretary Ryan Clark, I'm Paul Berger, Jerry Van Sickle, and we welcome everyone to the 2023 IMCA National Awards Banquet. We have a busy night ahead of us, and we appreciate everyone attending to honor our champions tonight at the start of a busy holiday season. One more reminder, you cannot bring in your own liquor. They got bars out there. Got to purchase it on out there, so make sure and do that. That's per hotel policy. Now, let's get started in welcoming these special guests in attendance with us this evening. We please ask that you hold your applause until they are all introduced. Bruce and Denise Badgley will be taking photos with Motorsports Photography. IMCA TV, Nate Ober and Garrett Koonsman. And from Summit Automotive Group, the Colorado Alliance Tour sponsor.
You really stole my Paul Berger joke? That was my only line tonight, Jerry.
I'll give you something else to work off later.
Well, it's time now to meet some of the folks who work hard to give us all a place to go racing. Without their support and dedication to our sport, we wouldn't be able to do what we love. Here are IMCA track and series promoters in attendance with us this evening. Please stand and remain standing until all are recognized. Hold your applause until, or boos if you're a driver that doesn't like your promoter. Hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. From Arlington Raceway, they've been IMCA sanctioned for the last 35 years, Bob and Susan Allen. Boone Speedway, IMCA sanctioned for 41 years, Robert and B. Lawton. Clarksville Speedway, IMCA sanctioned starting in 2023, William Scoggin. Dawson County Raceway and US 30 Speedway, IMCA sanctioned for the last 31 years, Bobby and Janelle Lincoln. Eagle Raceway, sanctioned for the last 39 years, Racine Thompson. El Paso County Raceway, IMCA sanctioned for the last 9 years. Phillips County Raceway, sanctioned for 16 years, and also the promoter of the Colorado Alliance Tour. I didn't forget you this year, Joe Bellum. Junction Motor Speedway, sanctioned for the last 9 years, Susan Karmazine. Kossuth County Speedway, sanctioned for the last 26 years, Ron Reefer and Edgar Meyer. Marshalltown Speedway, sanctioned for the last 41 years, Jerry Van Sickle. Mod Lights of Arkansas, IMCA sanctioned since 2021, Bryce Vowen. North Central Speedway and Princeton Speedway, sanctioned for the last 9 years, Velvet Dostal. Off-Road Speedway, sanctioned for the last 9 years, Jerry Pospisil. Tennessee Mod Light Racing Association, IMCA sanctioned starting in 2023, that is Eddie Campbell. How about a nice round of applause for all these folks standing here tonight, offering you folks a place to go racing. In 2023, IMCA held sanctioned events at 250 facilities in a record 40 states and Canada.
Thank you to the following IMCA sponsors for joining us as well. We please ask that they stand and remain standing until all are recognized, and we also ask that you hold your applause until they all are recognized. From B&B Racing Chassis, Paul Berger. From Fast Shafts, Bo Kaplan. Speedway Motors, Carson Smith, Greg Nickel, Karen Nickel, Scott Angel. Friesen Performance, Chad and Don Smith. In attendance to these sponsors, the following are being recognized for sponsorship milestones with us this season. May I ask that the following please step forward when you announce your name to receive these awards. Receiving a 10-year plaque goes to Friesen Performance of Sutton, Nebraska.
Did you forget a couple, Jerry?
Oh, yeah, I'll get back to them. I'm sorry. I did forget. Got ahead of myself.
Do you know which ones I'm talking about?
Yes. Also from Kevco, Katie Denson, and Stealth Racing, Brian Compart. Also a 10-year plaque going to Travis Roth of Razor Chassis, Platte Center, Nebraska.
You're already breaking things, Jerry.
Well, we told we'd get a mess up count, and I'm up to 2 already. So, and now please welcome to the stage at this time from Speedway Motors, Greg Nickel.
Good evening. I've met many of you over the years at tracks, trade shows, or somewhere. For those I haven't met, my name's Greg Nickel. I'm the race product manager for Speedway Motors for the last 40 years. Speedway has approximately 500 employees that we're honored to have you here at our home. We're mostly made up of racers, hobbyists, sports enthusiasts, but Lincoln, Nebraska is the home of Speedway Motors. We had the opportunity to host many of you last night at the Museum of American Speed. I'm sure you noticed the completion of our 66,000 square foot addition, and it'll be showcasing new displays and collections. Those of you who've been there before, you noticed the machine shop was gone. Well, that got moved to an off-site facility that is now 77,000 square feet with new CNC machining capabilities, fabricating centers, robotic welders, CNC benders. With the new space, we're able to double our size of previous, and we're able to produce more product quicker and get it delivered to you, the racer, when you need it. Like most of you, Speedway had a humble beginning, founded in 1952 by Speedy Bill Smith, who borrowed $300 from his future wife, Joyce. I've asked them both many times, and Bill would never say if he paid her back or not. We started in a 300 square foot building on O Street. Today, Speedway services the race, street, muscle, street rod market with 2 retail stores, distribution centers in West Virginia, Nebraska, and Arizona. Our mission at Speedway's never changed, but a broad selection of high quality, affordable automotive parts delivered efficiently and without hassle. Many of you are Speedway customers, and we'd like to thank you. We trust you for us to build parts and supply them. Speedy Bill would always say you can't sell out of an empty wagon. And today, I assure you, we are constantly developing many new and trusted products that allow you to chase your dreams. Our team's always ready to help pursue your passion. To keep the racing tradition alive, the grandstand's full, and the track, I'd encourage each one of you to take someone new to the races this upcoming 24 season. Whether it's a neighbor, someone from work, or just a buddy, you never know when that next person might get the passion and become a regular or possibly a sponsor. The outside world will never understand racers, racing, or why we commit so much time to this. They may not understand that when you crash or break, some of the first people to come running to help you might be the team you've been battling with at the track, or running, or you beat them last week at the track. At that time, we're all family. Think about the word family. Many of us and you are second, third generation drivers. And you're now taking your young children to the shop and to the races. And they're creating memories that they'll carry with them for their whole life. They're learning the importance of helping others and hard work. But tonight, we're all here to recognize you. This is one of my favorite nights of the years at this banquet because we recognize the champions, whether it's a track champion or a national championship. It recognizes your hard work, perseverance, and most of all, a job well done. Your fellow competitors and fellow honorees know the dedication and sacrifice it takes to be a racing champion. It's a lot of support from your family, friends, sponsor, and your race team. Personally, we'd like to thank your family, significant others, moms, dads, grandparents, and kids. Your entire racing family helps you get to where we are here tonight. It's a special night because you are here. We're excited for you and to celebrate your success. Jason, Joyce, Speedy Bill, spirits live with their sons, Carson, Craig, and Clay, who continue to run the business. The entire team at Speedway encourage you to keep doing what you love. To end this, as Bill would, for 30 years, Speedy Bill would say, keep the passion. Thank you.
One more time for Greg Nickel and the entire crew of Speedway Motors. Thank you for all you do for IMCA Racing, Greg. And I feel bad for the kid that's having a bad night out there. Brett hasn't even given his speech yet, and they're already in tears.
That's what I was thinking.
Holy cow. Also in attendance with us tonight are several key members of the IMCA staff. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Jim Stannard, Vice President of Operations. Bill Martin, Director of Media and Public Relations. Dan Engeldow, Director of Publications and Information Technology. Carson Becker-Graham, Integrated Marketing and Sponsorship Director. Virginia Lindsay, Director of Membership and Points. Kim Haynes, Assistant to the Director of Membership and Points. Whitney Hennigan, Office Manager. Dave Bren, Director of Competition. Bob Allen, Sprint Car Director. Jimmy May, Stars Mod Light Director. Kirk Niehaus, Stock Car and Hobby Stock Director. And please welcome to the podium, ladies and gentlemen, the President of IMCA, Mr. Brett Root.
Great speech, Greg. That was impressive. I hope I can do that well, to be quite honest. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 IMCA National Awards Banquet. Tonight is the night we crown America's champions, the champions of IMCA racing. Or, said another way, welcome to the Mike Nichols 12th Annual Thanksgiving Weekend Gala. On behalf of Mike and Anita and the entire Nichols racing team, we'd like to welcome you to their home away from home here in Lincoln. I am your host, Brett Root. The MC for this evening is Ryan Clark. Oh, you're not Ryan. Ryan's over here. We also have some entertainment scheduled for this evening. We call that entertainment Jerry Van Sickle. I didn't build a podcast room to talk about racing for those that watch it. I built a podcast room so we could talk about Jerry and make fun of him. He walks into it every time we invite him, too. No, seriously, Jerry, I appreciate all you do for IMCA. I really do. And all you do for Boone Speedway. I can't thank you enough. Love you like a brother, just not my brother. Like if you're like Paul Berger's brother, right? I kind of love you like that, Jerry. No, but seriously, back to Mike Nichols. 12 IMCA National Championships. I think I counted that right. Tying Ernie Durr's record. I believe I'm right on that. All-time IMCA record. How about a big round of applause? Applause for Mike, Anita, their entire race team. It's hard to fathom that, really, to be quite honest. To win that many championships at this level, in that division is unprecedented in my opinion, and it's something that in our lifetimes most of us in the room probably aren't going to see again, to be quite honest. So we could possibly, but it's a heck of an achievement. To all the champions in attendance this evening, again, congratulations from all of us at IMCA. My wife told me to try to keep my speech, she said keep it under 45 minutes. Is that what you said, babe? 45 seconds. Oh, I thought it was more like 4 to 5 minutes, not, or is it 4 to 5 minutes? No. The first National IMCA Banquet I attended was in 1995. That was also the first year that my mother had purchased IMCA from the Knack family. It was down, I believe, in Kansas City. Drove down there with my older sister, Debbie, my younger sister, Jody, and my parents. 1995. Here I am 29 years later. I've been attending this banquet in some capacity or not. Official capacity started in 1997, my first year of employment at IMCA. This banquet this year is one of the largest we've ever hosted. We had to add tables back in the corner for those in the cheap seats in the back. We apologize, but thank you all for coming. It's impressive for us to have well over 600 people in this room. We're above capacity, and I can't thank each and every one of you enough for wanting to spend your holiday weekend here with us in Lincoln. For those 29 years, I have to thank the IMCA staff. I really do. For the 29 years that I've been attending, Kirk Niehaus has been with us as well. We talked about this, I think it was last night. Kirk's been our stock car and hobby stock director for 29 years. Paul Vetter, who is our Western Region director, has been with us for that many years as well. Paul's not here tonight. When you get into my employment in 97, Bill Martin, Virginia Lindsay, Dan Ingledow, my little sister Jody, who's not here this evening, they all still work for IMCA. We're a pretty tight group. We really are. And Jim's running somewhere. Jim's been with IMCA as well, right along the way. Sorry, it's hard for me not to get a little bit emotional about my staff. They really are like family to me. All right, get past that hard stuff. In 2023, once again, we sanctioned thousands of races across the United States at thousands of events. 250-some racetracks are hosting IMCA-sanctioned divisions this year. 38 states. I think it's 38. It might even be 39. It changes every year. I can't seem to even keep up with it. How many? 40. 40 states, sorry. See, I left a couple of states out. And Canada also as well. 9,000 again this year. For the last 3 or 4 years, we've had over 9,000 individual racers competing in IMCA through the course of the season. They do so at all of those racetracks. In 1997, when I started here, I think we had about 4,500 members. So people ask us, when are we going to grow IMCA? I get that question a lot. What are you going to do next year to make IMCA bigger? And I'm like, that's a really good question. I don't really have a really good answer, but it just seems to happen. We get sanctions added in new states. We get sanctions added at racetracks that have been sanctioned for 40 years, add a sport compact division or something like that, and it just seems to continually grow. And again, for our staff, there's 11 of us full-time at IMCA plus a handful of part-time people. It keeps us incredibly, incredibly busy. Of those 9,000 racers, we're going to crown about 700 champions this year, a little less than that. That's an incredibly large amount of racers as well. So we have all these big numbers in IMCA, how many racers and how many races and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, there's a really small number that sits in this room tonight. You're in a very, very elite group. Less than 7% is what I calculated, and I think it's actually a little less than that when you consider the guys that have won multiple championships. Probably 5% of our racers win a championship every year. So to everybody in the room, I think there's about 120 champions in here tonight. congratulations again. What you have done and what you've accomplished is very, very impressive. Super Nationals the last few years, we continue to set records. 900 3 years ago, over 1,000 last year, and again over 1,000 this year. I can't say enough about the Super Nationals, about Boone Speedway, about everybody that comes and participates in that event. It really is a snapshot for us of weekly racing across the United States, and there's nothing more satisfying on my end of this than to go to Super Nationals and see guys like Chaz Baca racing against guys like Myron DeYoung from, they're all the way across the United States from each other, and they're on the racetrack. Lots of times they've never competed against each other, and they're putting on just absolutely fantastic racing. So that, in my opinion, speaks volumes about IMCA racing, but it speaks volumes about the people who turn laps in this association, and that's all the racers that are in the room here tonight. Again, I can't, it's so cool to be a part of what I get to do up here. I just can't even hardly put it in words. It's kind of weird, to be quite honest. The weekly racing is what, provides the snapshot for the Super Nationals. The promoters in the room here this evening, we always get a handful that come to our banquet that are getting awards or getting recognition. But I said this a few years ago, if anything, COVID in our lifetime, COVID demonstrated how important racetracks are and how important promoters are. When you shut every racetrack down across the United States, where are y'all going to take your race cars? We need racetracks. We need promoters. And that they do not get enough, in my opinion, many times, especially these days in social media, they do not get enough praise. They probably get way more criticism than any of them ever deserve. But without the racetrack promoter, a lot of us, including myself, aren't going to be in this room. And again, to all the promoters that are here tonight and all the promoters across the United States who are sanctioning with IMCA, I want to thank you very much. Yes, a round of applause, very much so. I'm trying to talk as fast as I possibly can as well, babe. So, starting this evening, we're going to issue about 3,700 point fund checks. That's in that range every year. It's between 3,500 and 4,000 point fund checks that we send out. This year, our national point fund, track point funds, all the point funds that we send out to everybody, it's about 600 and I think the total I had was $633,000 in cash point fund checks that are going out. A lot of you are going to get those tonight here in your box when you cross the stage. We get that's just tonight. We do an additional $55,250 from General Motors. They give $250 to every track champion that competes with a crate engine. There's 221 guys this year that won championships with a crate. So $55,000 and $55,250 is going to go out next week to all the champions in the mail on behalf of General Motors. We do another 100,000 or so. It's a little shy than that. It's like 99,125, I think I wrote down, through IMCA streaming, through IMCA TV. That's something that a handful of years ago did not exist. Now it's pushing $100,000. We've got 58 racetracks this year that are streaming on IMCA TV, some in some way. A lot of it's their weekly shows, some of it's special events. But it's about $100,000 that's generated through the replay system alone. The monthly subscribers that watch your racing, that watch it not live, but on a monthly basis, that subscription money is being put back to the racers. It's going to two places. It's going to the racers at those racetracks, and it's going to the promoters at those racetracks. We think that's very, very important. Again, we need racers and we need racetracks. And when you start talking to me behind the scenes or in front of people at trade shows or whenever I'm at racetracks, to us, you're incredibly important, and we do everything we can with your best interests in mind. It's a very difficult balance at times. I like to say at times we protect racers from promoters, and we also protect promoters from racers as a sanction. We're kind of a mediator a lot of times. So you have to kind of keep the big picture in mind, but all total this year, there's going to be just a little less than $800,000 that's going to go out in the next 10 days or so out of IMCA, about $780,000, $790,000. That doesn't include like Schaefer Oil, one of our contingency sponsors, they give out $6,500 to our state champions, $50 to every one of them. So all this money just starts to add up, and it all matters in our opinion. So we try our best to get sponsors that want to put money back into our program so we can give it to our racers. It all counts at the end of the day. Speedway Motors, obviously, continues to be the top of the list when it comes to our sponsors. They've been with us for 40-plus years. I can't thank Speedway enough for all they do for us. Every year I say this. Until you see the behind scenes of what they're capable at Speedway, it's really hard to understand just how good they are at what they do. They make our association, in my opinion, they make it better. They bring very, very highly educated people, engineers, to our rules and to our issues with like OEM frames and some of the decisions that we make, I think, very smart rules that are in the best interest of the racers. And I don't think we would be able to do it at the level that we do it without Speedway Motors. So to Greg, the staff of Speedway, the entire Smith family, I can't thank you enough for what you do for IMCA, and I can't thank you enough for the great reception we have every Friday night of our weekend here. How about a round of applause for Speedway, if you would, please? All right, I'm going to try to wrap this up. I said it last night on the podcast. Chaz Baca is probably the best example this year that I think. Not that he's the only one. He's probably the best example of what IMCA is about. You know, he's from Arizona, first off, and we've sanctioned modifieds. I didn't know the number for as long as I've been here, but before that, probably, my mother used to do what they called the Desert Classic and some barnstorming with Keith Kanak out on the West Coast for those older people in the room, to get IMCA modified going out there. And we have been out there on the West Coast, and particularly in that Phoenix market, for probably close to 40 years. It's been a long time. And we've never had a national champion out of Arizona. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe. So, Chaz, what you've accomplished here is pretty damn cool. And it also validates, I think, our system, what we do for points, what our racers can accomplish, how many nights you can race. And we talked about this last night in the podcast. You drove a lot of miles on your pickup truck. I mean, you're spending tons and tons of time, money. You've got the commitment. You've got the passion, the dedication, all of those things. You check all those marks, obviously. And then at the end of the day, like every champion in the room, you got to be able to win races. You got to be able to drive a race car. So everybody in this room is just like that. You can drive race cars, drive them well, and end up being a champion. I think it's just something I hope you guys everybody in here is incredibly, incredibly proud of. Not just Chaz, but everybody that's in the room that's a champion. I also think it's pretty cool. He's only 26 years old. We talked about this last night. He's been racing modifieds for like 10 years. Again, I've been working at IMCA for 27 years. You weren't even born when I started working at IMCA. It seems so weird to me. I used to be like the youngest guy in the room, and I'm not anymore. It's crazy. But to Chaz, to all of our national champions, especially, but to all of the rookies of the year and our regional champions and our track champions and our series champions and everybody who took the time to come and spend their weekend with us here this weekend. I can't thank you enough. It is always like one of the coolest things I get to do is to be up at this banquet and speak. It's hard for me not to talk too much. It's hard for me not to get a little bit emotional, but it's also hard for me not to talk too much because it's so damn cool. I just love what I do. We got a great staff in IMCA that loves what we do. We got great promoters. We got the best racers in dirt track racing. I don't give a shit what anybody says. We got them in IMCA, and there's just examples of that all over the place, all across the United States. 9 divisions of race cars. It don't matter what you're racing. You guys, there's so much talent in this sport, and this sport has so much good, in my opinion, especially these days with social media and all the nonsense you can read. I mean, we posted some pictures last night about our banquet, and you got guys calling me a snake, and I'm just like, on our Facebook page, and I'm like, it's kind of weird, but I'm just going to block him because it's kind of fun. I find entertainment in that stuff behind the scenes. But don't be that guy. You know what I mean? Don't be that person. Social media can point out a lot of bad in this world, but there's a room full of good. There is a whole sport full of good, and we're here tonight to celebrate that. I'm pretty excited to be a part of it. I can't say how much it is for an honor for me to be up here. When you go home, I say this every year too as well. When you go home as a champion, wear your jacket. I love when I see guys show up to this banquet with jackets on. I look at the year on and I'm like, oh, I love that jacket. Because we've had some jackets. I'm like, yeah, I really like that one. But we've got great looking jackets. I did special hats for everybody this year that's a champion. Take those jackets, take those hats, take those plaques, and show them off. Make a difference. You know, there's a 16-year-old kid like Chaz Baca that wants to race a car someday. Let that kid sit in your car. We all got started somehow, right? And here we all sit celebrating the best of the best in IMCA racing. So make a difference when you go home. Enjoy your weekend. I'm so sorry I talked too long. Sorry if I'm boring everybody. But, I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Thank you all for coming. Have a great, great evening, and congratulations to everybody in the room, not just our champions, but everybody in the room. Thank you.
Hey, Jerry.
Go ahead, caller.
I think Brett threw the gauntlet down, Mike. You going to be able to beat that tonight?
Wow.
It's going to be close.
You know, we did build a 15-minute buffer in between his speech and dinner, and the buffer's there, so we're ahead of schedule right now. Well, we have a fantastic dinner planned for us here this evening, but before we get to that, I would ask that everyone join us in this evening's blessing. We would also ask that you observe a moment of silence to honor all the people that our racing family has lost in this past year. Dear Heavenly Father, during this time of Thanksgiving, we thank you for allowing us this time together to honor and recognize those people who have made this another memorable year. We thank you for keeping us safe this season and for helping us to remember the things that are truly important as we go through life. Please bless the food that we're about to receive and keep us safe so that we may gather again. In this your Son's name we pray. Amen. Enjoy your dinner. Following dinner, we'll honor some of the best IMCA competitors for 2023. Well, at this time, if we could have our Sport Compact, Track, State, and Series champions, and those who finished in the top 10 in national point standings, please gather to the curtain to my right, your left at this time. I'm ready.
If anyone knows Lucas Rick,
Lucas Rick.
yeah, he's probably out there working on a cheated up engine in his Sport Compact, but he needs to get behind the curtain. Should I have said that? What? You can't hear me? Can you hear him?
Can't hear either one of us.
Can't hear anybody up here, guys. Turn it up. There's Lucas.
Just the way the script roll falls out. Just the way the script falls out.
Riley Payson, are you here?
Yeah, he's here somewhere. I saw him. He's probably singing some Johnny Cash out the karaoke room. You got a juice? I heard you beep him. Oh, that was your...
Steven Stetler? Stetler? You can't hear me either? Lower? High?
Behind the curtain. You may become a consolation prize later.
We're off to a rip-roaring start, aren't
Yes. Well, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the dinner, but before we move on, let's show the staff here at the Cornhusker a terrific job that they did on preparing and serving tonight's meal. At this time, we ask that you please shut off your cell phones until the conclusion of the awards banquet, or at least silence them. Ryan, turn your phone off. Okay, I just heard it ringing. I know your ringtone. Real quick, Ryan and I had asked, we usually, most of our time, spend a lot of the time looking at the back of your head, so if everybody could just turn around, it makes our job a lot easier. We'll feel more comfortable, like it's a regular night at the track. But now it's time to meet our 2023 champions. Since the debut of the Mach 1 IMCA Sport Compacts in 2006, the division has expanded every year to involve more tracks and racers. Weekly races are held at 65 tracks in 17 different states during the past season as the division continues to expand all across the country. Track, state, and special series champions have been earned by the following drivers: Boyd Raceway, Kennedale Speedway Park, Southern Oklahoma Speedway, the Oklahoma State Champion, Texas State Champion, Randall Martin. Benton County Speedway, Lucas Rick. Buena Vista Raceway and 9th in National Points, Levi Volkert. Clay County Fair Speedway, Riley Payson. Colorado State Champion, Dave Daniels. Concordia Raceway, Michael Reeker. Dawson County Raceway, Caden Murray. Dodge City Raceway Park, Lester Lucas. El Paso County Raceway, Daniel Cooper. Hancock County Speedway, Charles Prime. I-76 Speedway, Christopher Terrell. Interstate Speedway, Park Jefferson Speedway, 3rd in National Points, Tyler Thompson. Independence Motor Speedway, William Mitchell. Marshalltown Speedway, Shelby County Speedway, Stewart Speedway, 2nd Iowa State Champion, 2nd in National Points, Colby Sabin. Nebraska State Champion, Cody Wilbur. Princeton Speedway and the Minnesota State Champion, Josh Backstrom. Rolling Plains Motor Speedway, Kiowa Higdon. Salina Speedway, Sherman County Speedway, the Kansas State Champion, and 5th in National Points, Branston Arnder Jr. Wagner Speedway, South Dakota State Champion, Taylor Brown. Worthington Speedway, Chase Felix. His interest in a different kind of horsepower explained Steven Stittler's decision to move to Texas. After retiring from rodeo last fall, the racing bug bit him, and that's what got Stittler back into dirt track racing and in an IMCA Mach 1 Sport Compact. The National Rookie of the Year in the four-cylinder division, who made the move from Michigan to Decatur, Texas in 2007, made 50 starts during the season, winning 3 times and finishing third in the points race at Southern Oklahoma Speedway. He got his first win in the division at Ardmore and the other 2 at the Kossuth County Speedway in Iowa during one of his quick racing vacations. Here is the Mach 1 IMCA Sport Compact Rookie of the Year for 2023 from Decatur, Texas, Steven Stittler. iRacing got Sean Lazier hooked on racing. IMCA Racing got the Mansfield, Texas driver on track, and his Mach 1 Sport Compact 9 feature wins and consistent top 5 finishes throughout an abbreviated season got him the Junior National Championship. More than 500 drivers aged 13 to 18 contended for Junior National Champion honors and accompanying post-high school education. Turn my page here. There's a lot of stuff to read here. Scholarship funds in 2023. Lazier previously raced a go-kart in addition to 7 seasons of iRacing competition. In his 3rd season in the four-cylinder division, Lazier finished 6th in the national standings, ending up 5th in Texas State points and Kennedale Speedway Park standings, and 6th in Abilene Speedway and Boyd Raceway points. He'll race weekly in a Smiley's Racing Products IMCA Southern Sport Mod next season. Here is your 2023 IMCA Junior National Champion from Mansfield, Texas, Sean Lazier. And at this time, if I could have the IMCA Stars Mod Light Track, State, and Series champions and those who finished in the top 10 in National Mod Light point standings, please make your way behind the curtain over here to our right. Also at this time, I would like to bring to the stage our Mach 1 IMCA Sport Compact Crew Chief Award recipient, Tabitha Martin. A driver who wasn't even planning to race for points at the start of the season led them all to the end of it. 20 feature wins helped make Randall Martin the first Texas driver to win the Mach 1 IMCA Sport Compact National Championship. The speedster from Springtown, Texas, won the track title at Boyd Raceway, Kennedale Speedway Park, and Southern Oklahoma Speedway, as well as Texas and Oklahoma state titles in his first full season in the four-cylinder division. Nicknamed the Professor for his willingness and openness to share his speed secrets with anyone who wanted to learn, Martin earned 7 wins at Southern Oklahoma, 6 at Boyd, 4 at KSP, 2 at Abilene, and even 1 at RPM Speedway in Kansas. He finished in the top 5 in 39 of his 44 starts. Please welcome to the stage your 2023 Mach 1 IMCA Sport Compact National Champion from Springtown, Texas, Randall Martin.